Charmian was a woman who never shied from extremes. Born in Wilmington, California on November 27, 1871, Charmian Kittredge's life was marked by love and loss, by the endless beat of a punching typewriter, and by enormous adventure. She was fearless, extraordinary. When she was 6 years old, Charmian's mother died. Charmian was placed in the care of her aunt, Netta Eames. Netta was not loving or affectionate, but she was progressive in her views. She influenced Charmian's way of life. As a girl, Charmian had few playmates and invented a world of her own out of the books she read and her own imagination. Charmian was an accomplished pianist and singer. She learned to type rapid shorthand and worked as a secretary when this was the exclusive prerogative of males. She was independent, earned her own money, and bought rental property and her own horse. She was educated, well-read, athletic, had a rich sense of humor, and socially versed on the topics of the day. Determined to travel, Charmian traveled to Europe in 1901 unchaperoned and across the United States. She had a keenness for daring and adventure. She rejected several marriage proposals before meeting Jack, but once her life collided with his, they set forth as true and spirited mates. Charmian reflected in her diary that, in 1903, Jack and I fell in love, and it was a mad, beautiful passion. But best of all, underlying the sheer love madness was a remarkable comradeship, a mateship so great that we could only marvel at it as we marvel at it now. Always, always too good to seem true. Charmian London was essential to Jack's literary success. She typed, had a sharp editorial eye, and helped shape the vast majority of his work. He couldn't have done what he did without her. Charmian boldly broke the rules set for women in her day. She refused to ride side saddle, enjoyed relationships and lovers, and she ditched skirts and other feminine attire whenever men's clothing suited her best. After Jack's death, Charmian worked with agents and publishers to negotiate print and film contracts to promote his legacy. She also worked alongside Jack's stepsister, Eliza, to manage the operations of Beauty Ranch and oversaw the construction of the House of Happy Walls. Charmian and Eliza were two bold and pioneering women of the West. After Jack's death, Charmian nurtured her own creative spirit. Finding fame in her own right, she gave talks abroad where crowds of up to 26,000 people came to hear her speak. As an older woman, Charmian remained very active and very fashionable. She attended local dances, fundraising functions, and the opera in San Francisco. She continued to travel with extended periods in New York, Los Angeles, and Europe. Her hair was dyed red and cut to the latest trend. Charmian London built this house. She believed it was a true expression of herself, and she wanted it to live on as a museum to honor Jack's life work and their life together. Charmian died at the age of 83 in the same room as Jack did. Her final words were a cry, "Jack, Jack, I'm coming." Today, perhaps more than ever, we look to Charmian as a role model. Her courage and confidence allowed her to find equal footing with a man when women were not expected to do that. She reminds us that a woman can be anything she wants to be.